So for my final research paper, I did a literature review that focused on how meaningful relationships and the development of relationships can improve foster youth's academic achievement and motivation. This topic is important because it focuses on supporting a disadvantaged and often underserved population of students, which are those that are in foster care. So, youths in foster care typically have damaged social relationships that last well into adulthood, whether this is with their biological parents or their temporary foster parents. As a result, they have difficulty maintaining and developing relationships. Furthermore, they have a disproportionate number of disadvantageous outcomes in addition to pursuing secondary education at a lower rate. They have lower high school achievement, premature transitions into adulthood, or not being prepared for adulthood, low expectations of success from others, and they immediately enter the workforce rather than pursuing a degree at a university. According to self-determination theory, one must fulfill all of the three basic needs, which are autonomy, competence, and relatedness, in order to achieve psychological well-being and flourishment. For the purpose of my paper, I focused on the need of relatedness, or the development of meaningful relationships. Many foster youths have internal impediments to this, such as being guarded or developing maladaptive interpersonal skills, and external impediments to this, such as moving frequently between homes and not having that stable caregiver that many kids have. As a result, they have a limited ability and opportunity to develop meaningful relationships. Some of the key terms in my paper include academic achievement, or the pursuit of secondary education or graduating from high school, academic engagement, or the motivation to be involved in school, such as by completing homework and participating in class, coaching, which is similar to teaching, which is individualized support in developing academic goals and problem solving through any barriers, legal permanence, which is the binding commitment through law, such as by adoption, meaningful relationships, which are enduring, stable, and reciprocal relationships between two individuals, mentoring, which is information sharing and peer support with individuals that have a shared experience. A near peer is an individual who has a shared experience, which I sometimes use in conjunction with coaching or mentoring. Relatedness is the desire to feel connected to others through meaningful relationships and social systems, which is a basic need through self-determination theory. And finally, relational permanency, which is the enduring and stable relationship that may occur between a parent-like figure and a youth in foster care. The research question guiding my literature review was, how do meaningful relationships for youths in foster care promote academic achievement and engagement? I'm not going to go over this slide in great depth, but this is just to provide a framework and reference in my results section. So here is my table where you can see the study design, the sample, the intervention description, and some of the key findings. For my results, I had 5 peer-reviewed studies that focused on interventions and programs that promote relationship development or relatedness and the resulting impact on academic achievement and academic engagement. As you can see in the previous slide, these meaningful relationships in these interventions typically included coaching, mentoring, near-peer mentors or coaches, so people with shared experiences, and they typically took place over a 9 to 12 month intervention time frame. For my results, I have it split into academic achievement and academic engagement. For academic achievement, it was found that for the participants that were in the intervention groups, by the end of the intervention, they had more credits towards graduation, higher rates of high school completion, and more of them pursued higher education and participated in higher education. Additionally, there were fewer that had ended up dropping out of high school, and while they were still in high school, they were pursuing more educational opportunities. Also, they spent more time doing homework. For academic engagement, which this one included more of the qualitative studies, these participants reported spending more time setting academic goals, planning for higher education, and also planning for higher education for their future children. Additionally, they had higher levels of self-confidence and self-direction related to the goals that they were setting. They also enjoyed setting these goals, and they found it useful, and they also felt like they were focusing more on their future after participating in the interventions. Consistent with self-determination theory, the individuals that were receiving these interventions ended up with higher levels of academic achievement and engagement after they received the intensive interventions that fostered relatedness through meaningful relationships with peer coaches or peer mentors. Some limitations of my review is that there were very few studies that included these types of interventions of relationship development for foster youth. Therefore, there wasn't really much for me to synthesize related to it, which is why I was only able to locate 5 interventions to use. Additionally, relationship support and relatedness was not offered in isolation from other variables, so some of the workshops and summer programs offered had college readiness things and how to apply for college and things like that, and just other variables that could have contributed to academic achievement and engagement. Therefore, I can't really say whether or not relatedness was the main factor that made the big difference in these individuals pursuing higher education and having higher academic achievement and engagement. Some things that I could add to my paper that might be beneficial is maybe expanding on the self-determination theory conceptualization. For example, a lot of these peer coaching and peer mentoring interventions within my literature review promoted a lot of autonomy, which I think was very key, especially for youth transitioning into adulthood as they were navigating being independent. Some questions that I still have and some more that I would like to know is, how can we support foster youth within the school system? A lot of these interventions that I looked at were 9 to 12 months long. They were very rigorous. They had monthly meetings, bi-weekly coaching. So how could a less rigorous method be offered in order to promote academic achievement and engagement for youths in foster care?